In this video, we will show you how to replace your rear parking assist sensor on this Ford Fusion. This will be mounted directly to your rear bumper cover. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Something that I'm going to mention, it really doesn't matter which one of your parking assist sensors you're replacing, you're going to have to remove the rear bumper cover. With that said, let's safely make our way under the rear of the vehicle. Now from under the rear bumper cover here, you can see several bolts and 2 push clips. We'll start by removing our push clips. For these push clips, you want to carefully dislodge the center to unlock it, and then you can remove the outer portion as well. For this, I'm just using a trim tool. We'll make our way in between here, gently pry it out. A quick inspection, repeat the process for the other one on the other side. Continuing on, we're going to start removing our mounting bolts. You'll find that some of them are 7mm and you'll have 2 others that are 8mm headed bolts. Start with the 7s across the sides. That bolt broke, it's a little rusted. It's common for these 2 bolts on each side to break due to the fact that up in this area holds a lot of miscellaneous debris and moisture. We'll continue on. Once you've completed making your way across the bottom of the bumper cover, you need to make your way into each wheel well. Inside the wheel well, you're going to find 4 plastic push clips to remove. There's 1 down on the lower corner and then 3 making their way up. To remove these, I'm using my trim tool. We'll carefully remove the center to unlock it and then remove the outer portion as well. If the push clip came apart when you were removing it, that's okay. Generally, you can just slide the 2 pieces together. We will leave this in the unlocked position for now. Continue on to the other 3. Let's get this last one down in the bottom corner. Way up in the corner here, you're going to find a 7mm headed mounting bolt. Now you should be able to take hold of the bumper cover and separate it from your rear fender. Repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle. After completing both sides in the wheel wells, we're going to make our way into the trunk now. On each side of the vehicle, we have to remove the inside panel. For this, you're going to find that you have 2 tabs that you should be able to turn counterclockwise to remove. These essentially just hold this panel in place. There's 1 up high, 1 down along the bottom here. Now we can take hold of this and we'll gently start flexing it out of the way so we can gain access along the back side of the tail lamp assembly and the body of the vehicle. If you have a hard time grabbing onto it, you could use a plastic trim tool. We'll pull it out from under this area. It just slides right out. Now in along this area, you're going to find 2 10mm headed mounting nuts. Now continuing from here, we're going to have to use our trim tool and we'll gently start pulling the tail lamp assembly away from the vehicle. To do this, it actually wants to come out towards the side of the vehicle, not straight towards the rear. Make our way along. We'll disconnect our electrical connector. For this, it does have a locking tab. You want to squeeze that in and pull this out of place. A quick inspection for corrosion. We'll set this aside, repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle. With the tail lamp assembly out of the way, we'll continue on to removing our plastic push clip along the top of the bumper cover here. Repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle. Now you should be able to take hold of the bumper cover. We're going to start lifting it up and away from its mounting points here. We'll start tugging along the center to remove this. We're just dislodging it from its mounting positions. Now behind here on the driver's side, you will find a wiring harness that we need to disconnect. To disconnect this, it does have a locking tab. You can press in on that. It's common for it to be full of dirt. If that's the case, you just want to make your way underneath the outboard area here, gently pry up on that locking tab, and then pull this out of place. With the bumper cover out of position, we can see all 4 of our parking sensors making their way across. At this point, the process for one is going to be the exact same thing as all others. I'll go for one of the center ones. It's one of the hardest ones to get to here. You can use a small screwdriver, small pick, whatever you might happen to have. On the bumper cover itself, you're going to find that it has 2 locking tabs that go around the sensor. So I'm just going to use my small screwdriver and gently pry the locking tab away. I'll start pulling on the sensor a little bit. Once it starts dislodging, I can do the same to the other locking tab. We'll just pull this right up and out of here. Continuing on from there, we have our electrical connector, locking tab, squeeze it in, disconnect it. There it is, friend. Before you continue with your installation, you need to make sure that you check the bumper cover for the original gasket. It's common for it to either be stuck in place on the bumper cover or even on the sensor itself. Either way, you want to make sure it's removed and disposed of properly. Now it's time to install our brand new sensor. If you'd like, you can have the sensor paint matched for your bumper cover. It's really up to you. Let's continue on with getting this in position. We'll start with the electrical connector, pressing it in, listen for a click here. Once you've heard that, give it a light tug, making sure that it is properly secured. Our sensor comes with a brand new gasket, so we're going to leave that in place. At this point, we'll start putting this into the bumper cover, aligning it, and pressing it into each one of the 2 locking tabs. Once you hear an audible click from both of those, just go ahead and give it a little tug here. Once again, you do want to make sure each one of your sensors are properly secured. Repeat the process for every sensor you plan on replacing, and we can reinstall the bumper cover. Okay, let's get ready to reinstall our rear bumper cover. We're going to start with the wiring harness. Align the locking tab. We'll press this in, listen for a click. A light tug to make sure it's properly secured in place. Now we can start bringing the bumper cover up to the body of the vehicle. The bumper cover itself will have to fit along this area. We have a metal bracket that it slides into. You may have to tap it in along the way. Once you feel as though you have the center in place, continue on along each side of the vehicle, installing your push clips. As we make our way over towards the side, we will have this area that needs to go into this slot. Just have to lift this up. Once you have it pressed in, you can use an angled pick if necessary. We'll press that into the proper position. That in here, we're going to align the bumper cover with the rear fender, press it in. Now it's time to install our tail lamp assembly. Let's start with the electrical connector. For this, we're just going to align it. We'll press it in, listen for a click from the locking tab. A light tug, make sure it's secure. Continuing from here, we need to align this and press it towards the center of the vehicle once everything's properly aligned. Now let's make our way inside the trunk. In this area, we'll be using our 2 10mm mounting nuts for each one of the 2 studs on the tail lamp assembly, holding it to the body of the vehicle. Continuing on, we're going to make sure we tuck the inner liner in and behind the seal and underneath our trim panel here. You can see it makes its way along there. That's good. Install our plastic nuts here. Let's repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle. In the wheel well, we'll start resecuring the bumper cover to the rear fender. We have our 7mm headed bolt. It's going to go up inside its little port here. Start it in, snug it up. Let's get our push clips in here. Press in the outer portion, lock it in with the center. Make your way all the way down the line. Get the last one in the bottom corner here. Make our way down underneath this area now. We're going to resupport this panel. There should be 2 mounting bolts holding this in place. I had to replace my clips. Let's do the same on the other side of the vehicle, and then we can continue on making our way towards the center of the vehicle. We'll have our 8mm headed bolts just after those first 2 that we had replaced on the sides. We'll get our other bolts in here. Should have a push clip in this port. We'll wait on that. Continue down the line. Time for our 2 push clips. Make sure they're in the unlocked position so the center is pulled out, and then go ahead and drive these in. Lock them in by pressing in the center till the completely bottomed out position. Continue on to the next one. Okay, friend, we finished the installation of our rear parking sensor. At this point, you just want to make sure you test the functionality. Aside from that, take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.